Hi everyone, it's Sandra, and today's video is very much inspired by Jamie Page. She did a similar video not too long ago, and it also works really well with the top 5 series that I've been doing on my channel, basically in which I lay out my top 5 favorite products from various makeup categories. So today's topic is eyeshadow palettes, and I do not discriminate by size. I am considering eyeshadow quads in this as well. I will start with the one that I've owned for the longest, so I guess we're gonna go in chronological order of acquisition, and this is Tom Ford Cocoa Mirage. This is basically me in an eyeshadow quad. Basic matte brown eyeshadow quad. Well, one of the 4 colors has a slight shimmer to it, but for the most part, it's like a matte brown eyeshadow quad, and I love it. I do not regret buying this one bit, and if this magically disappeared from my makeup collection, I would run out and repurchase it ASAP because I love the tones of the browns in this palette. I think it's an excellent palette to own if you're somebody that travels a lot for work. You can just very easily achieve a very chic and put together daytime look, but you can add a little bit of drama for the evening as well. I absolutely love this, and I always pack it with me if I'm going somewhere and I don't really want to be bothered with like doing anything remotely creative on my eye. This just always delivers. I'm always happy with the look that I get from it. It's always really flattering. The colors are so easy to work with and so easy to blend. There's very little fallout. You can just dab a fluffy brush and go to town. You can just achieve a look so easily with this, which is why it's a palette that has a very special place in my heart. And while I have eyeshadow quads that are neutral brown that I love, also like Lilah B have a really good one, and then the Giorgio Armani Avant Premier eyeshadow quad is also along the same lines, a really good neutral brown quad. This just takes the cake for me because of the tones. I am very much a warm brown eyeshadow girl, but if this is too warm for you, definitely check out Lilah B Enchanting, which is a lot more neutral, or the Giorgio Armani Avant Premier, which has slightly more of a cool, it has one of the colors with more of a cool undertone, so you might be able to get more wear out of that. But I love this, so it will come as no surprise if you've been hanging out with me for a while. I also love the size of the mirror in this Tom Ford quad. I mean, all Tom Ford quads have the same size mirror, but especially if I'm traveling, I can actually see my whole face in the mirror, and that's pretty rare when it comes to an eyeshadow quad, so I think this is great. Well worth the money for me, and I would repurchase it in a heartbeat. The second eyeshadow palette is also a quad, and this will always have a special place in my heart because this is what I used on my wedding day. If you're new on my channel, I did a video in which I recreated my wedding makeup, so you can see me use this palette. But this is Clé de Peau Baby Universe, and this just, I love this so much. I love these tones. This has more of a rosy undertone, which I really love for fall and winter. It has 2 shimmery colors and 2 satin matte colors, but the shimmer is so elegant. I'm a big fan of Clé de Peau eyeshadows. Whatever I've tried, I've been really impressed with. It's so easy to work with. It looks so beautiful and elegant. It works well with any eye color. I think especially if you're somebody with like green or blue eyes, oh man. Brown eyes, yes, everybody will enjoy this, I think. Especially, obviously, if you're watching my channel, you have the same taste in makeup that I do. I think that you will like this too. If you want like a nice treat yourself purchase, this is it. And just keep in mind though that Clé de Peau eyeshadow quads, you have to purchase the insert with the eyeshadows separately from the compact. So just keep that in mind. I don't know what the prices are like now, but when I bought it, the insert was like 50 bucks and the palette was 25, I believe. So just keep that in mind, that the cost will be a little bit higher than what you just see on the website when you see the colors. Well worth it. I absolutely adore this quad, and if I ever run out, it's nice that I can just buy a refill of the insert and put it in my compact and I'm good to go without wasting any other plastic, so that's always good. Now, the next palette favorite is a large palette, and it is the Pat McGrath Mothership 5 Bronze Seduction. I bought this last year as soon as it launched, and it got me excited about makeup again. Every single time I open this palette and I go to use it, I'm excited. I'm excited about doing my makeup. I'm excited to see how the look ends up turning out. This is a palette that I reach for in fall and winter evenings. This is like my glam going out palette. And the glitters are unreal. They're so multi-dimensional. They just pack a punch, and they just make me so happy. Now, I don't have that many glitter eye products in my collection, so for me this was totally justified. I know that the price tag of these palettes is absolutely insane, and there are so many cool glitter top coat products on the market that you don't really need to buy this eyeshadow palette in order to kind of get your glitter fix. But I do think that the tones of the multi-dimensional glitters in this palette are very unique. I don't think you can find any of these types of colors separately. You might be able to achieve the look if you mix in a bunch of different products from different brands. The mattes are very, very good mattes. They're just as good as the mattes in the Tom Ford Cocoa Mirage Quad. And I just find everything to work together really well. I can do a daytime look with this if I really want to as well. I just, stay away from the glitters and just use the matte browns and like the shimmery champagne shade. But overall, this is just fantastic, and it just gets me excited every single time I open it, which is why it's special to me. Ideally, that's the goal for me for all the makeup that I have. I just want makeup that makes me really happy when I open it, gives me a feeling of satisfaction, makes me really excited about using it, makes me excited about the look that's gonna come out. Those are my favorite types of products. Next up is the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette, and this is my most used eyeshadow palette from this year. This will be in my 2019 beauty favorites. Spoiler alert, I did not think I would love and use this eyeshadow palette as much as I have. I think it's the best naked palette that Urban Decay have done. I actually think it's the best eyeshadow palette that Urban Decay have done. They did one called Born to Run that's also pretty good if you're somebody that likes to experiment more with color. But if you are a neutral eyeshadow girl, and if you like your neutrals to lean a little bit warm like me, this is just awesome. And it does not have a lot of love. I think a lot of people didn't really like it, or maybe they overlooked it because they're just sick of eyeshadow palettes, which I mean, I don't blame anybody, because I definitely feel like we've reached eyeshadow palette fatigue in the last year. So I think it launched at the wrong time. I think if they would have released this instead of like the original Naked palette back in the day, it maybe would have gathered a larger fan base. But for me, this is the best. I have not touched my Urban Decay Naked Heat palette since I got this. That was my favorite Urban Decay palette, but this has definitely dethroned it. And yeah, I'm wearing it today. And to be honest, I've been wearing it on most days in some way, shape, or form. Sometimes I mix it with other stuff, but I just love it. And I think why this has a special place in my heart, and why this is my favorite everyday eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be showing you in this video, is that I can wear every single color in this palette no matter the occasion. I can wear every single color during the day, during the night. It's just so easy, and for me, that's what makes a good everyday palette. I don't have any colors in this palette that I've been neglecting, because I can find use for every single color, which I think is really rare. A lot of the times, like with the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia, for example, that's a gorgeous palette, but I only use like 4 colors out of it. I have to be in the mood, or I have to be like going for a specific type of look in order to be able to dabble in some of the colors in that palette. But this, everything's just like basic and awesome. So I can use every single color no matter the occasion. Like the dark colors are excellent under the lash line for kind of like a nice smoky look. These matte brown transition colors are excellent. I love the shimmers applied with fingers. They give a really, really nice high shine on the eyelid without being too much. So yeah, I can't say enough good things about this palette. I really, really like it. Do you need it? Probably not, especially if you're somebody that has collected quite a lot of neutral eyeshadow palette over the years. Like, there's nothing dramatically different about this. There's nothing unique about this. These colors can be easily duped, but for me, having them all together in a palette like this, I like the packaging too. I like that you don't really see any fingerprints on it. I like that they got rid of the brush. This is just an excellent eyeshadow palette for me, and I love it. Final palette and my most recent eyeshadow palette acquisition is the Rowan 75 degree palette. I love this, especially in conjunction with the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette for evening. If I want to kind of amp up the look that I did with my Urban Decay palette, I will just take any of the colors in this Rowan quad and just apply them with my finger to give a nice warm glitter overcoat. This quad is very unique in my makeup collection because it is all cream colors and they're all glitters. Now the glitters are chunky. So if you're somebody that does not like glitter and you're kind of self-conscious about your eyelids, I would steer you away from this. If you want like subtle sophistication, you go for Clé de Peau. But if you just want like a high fashion wet glitter look, the Rowan 75 degree eyeshadow palette is fantastic. I like the fact that it's designed to be used with fingers. I find that really easy to use, and it really does pack a punch. I love the colors. I love the texture. It just looks really cool, and it adds that extra edge to the look. I've just been loving this in the summer. So this has just been like my go-to palette to pair with my boring everyday mattes to kind of give them an extra kick if I'm feeling fancy on a Wednesday morning or if I'm going out on a Saturday night in the summer. This has just been such an enjoyable product, and it's been cool to discover a new brand. And again, it's the kind of product that gets me excited about makeup again, which it's harder and harder for me to get excited about makeup, to be honest, because there's just so much stuff. And most of the time I'm just really sitting there overwhelmed, but every now and then the right product comes along and ends up stealing my heart. So those are my current top 5 favorite eyeshadow palettes. Those are the eyeshadow palettes that I would repurchase first if my entire eyeshadow palette collection went up in flames. Now I have been doing like declutters throughout the years, and I haven't hung on to too many eyeshadow palettes. These 5 definitely have a firm favorite place in my heart, and I've just been really enjoying them, and I can see myself still enjoy them and use them and love them in the many months to come. So that's it for me. Please let me know what your favorite eyeshadow palettes are. If you can think of top 5 off the top of your head, including eyeshadow quads, let me know in the comment section below. I always love to know your favorites. I always love to know what you're using. You always have such incredible recommendations, such great tastes, so I'm always excited to get your feedback and to see what you're loving in the comments. So we'll be catching up below. Thank you again for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.